Hello everybody, I am Engineer Bilal Majid and today we will discuss something about reading module. Reading module is a difficult one even for the students who are well qualified, the doctors, professionals, engineers. And why is it so? Because there are some common mistakes and students are unaware of some of the tips, some golden tips and tricks with the help of which those passages can be solved easily. But students, rather than understanding those tips and tricks, straight away commit some errors. And those errors are, number one, students start reading the whole passage without understanding what exactly they require from the passage. Secondly, they go through the passage, they underline all the difficult words, they are confused and they are somehow trying to understand the meanings of the vocabulary. Number three, they are quite impressed about the information given in the passage, the facts and figures, the names of the persons, the scholars, philosophers. So all these things, they somehow fascinate them and they think that these informations are important and they start underlining, start understanding the passage's meanings and so many other stuff. So there are some techniques. Rather than just going through the passage blindly, you have to follow those techniques and reading will be a piece of cake for you. Okay, there are 4 steps. If you understand these 4 steps, reading will be quite easier for you. Step number 1 is skimming. Skimming. What is the meaning of skimming? Well, there are people who have written books about this particular word, about definition of this word and explanation related to skimming. But there fortunately is also a one-word definition for skimming, and that is what, W-H-A-T. So what defines the things? So in Ielts passages, how to do the skimming? It's quite simple. You have to go through and read the first paragraph, the complete first paragraph. Then you have to go through and read out the complete last paragraph. And all those paragraphs which are in between, you only have to read the first line. I would say the first sentence, because line is line. Sentence can be of 2 lines, sentence can be of 1.5 lines. So I will repeat, skimming is done with 3 steps. First step, read the first paragraph completely. Second step, read the last paragraph completely. And step number 3, read the first sentence of all the middle paragraphs. So this is how skimming is done. And then after the first step, step number 2 is to read out the questions. Right, okay. How to read out the questions? Well, you have to read out the questions 2 to 3 times and get 2 things from the questions. I repeat, you have to read out the questions 2 to 3 times and get 2 things from the questions. Thing number 1 is you have to get the concept. The concept, in order to get the concept, all you need to do is to translate those questions into your mother languages. It will be quite easier for you then. And the step number 2 is you have to get the keywords, important words. Those words can be nouns, verbs, dates, name of the persons. So all those are the keywords with the help of which we can understand the passage. So the questions, we have to get concept and keywords from the questions. Okay, the step number 3 is scanning, a very important one. Right, scanning, again, people have literally written books to explain this particular word. They have, they have compiled it in pages and there are so much literature available in the market about this particular definition of the word scanning. But fortunately, once again, there is also a one-word definition for the word scanning, and that is where, W-H-E-R-E. So we have to find what we have to find. In scanning, after going through the questions, we have 2 things, the concept and the keywords. And now we scan the whole passage starting from the first line, obviously, and wherever we find any information which is matching with the information or keyword which we have recently got from questions, we will underline that stuff, we will underline that word, we will underline that line, and this is the process which we will be completing in the whole passage. So for example, the passage has 100 lines, so approximately 30% of the passage should be underlined. Ideally, I would say if the passage has 100 lines, 30 lines will be underlined, will be scanned. So now, rather than 100 lines, we have 30 lines. So we will focus only on those 30 lines, and we will come up with the step number 4, which is called close reading. CLOSE reading. Close reading. So what is the difference between the reading and the close reading? Well, the reading is like going through the passages, going through the paragraphs, and close reading is that you have a clue, you have something which is matching with the statement which is given in the question. So now you have to be attentive and focus and match whatever is there in the question, whatever is there in the passage, and get your required answer. So this is how close reading is done, and you finally will be getting the answers of the questions. 4 steps: skimming, questions, scanning, and close reading, and then you will get the required answers. I hope you understand the techniques and tips and tricks of the reading. Thank you so much.